Hey, it's Eric here at Peachtree Classic Cars, and I've got a 1973 Z28 Camaro. It's a true Z28 car with a 4-speed, and we're going to take it for a quick spin, show you around the car, and I'm going to try not to tick off my neighbors by hauling ass in this thing. Got one neighbor right here at the beginning of my video that's upset with me. So transmission shifts out nice and smooth. The engine's got tons of power. A little bit older restoration on this car, and it's a cool car. The biggest thing it's got going for it, I mean, well, quite a few things going for it, running and driving. This car is in daily driver condition as is. But one of the things that I think is really cool about it is, actually, I've had only one of these before, is it's an original code 64 paint, which means that it's actually a Cortez silver, original Cortez silver car, which is super desirable. Got it in reverse now. Emergency brake does work. Put that on. To me, just the perfect sounding exhaust. The turn downs behind the tires, F-body style. A smooth running engine. Nice Fender aluminum valve covers. And I'm gonna turn it off so we can hear a little bit better, and pray that well, I may be wrong, that the school bus isn't coming right now. Fortunately, I think I could be wrong. Anyways, few upgrades from the original engine. I did pull the numbers on this. 397010 is a block number for this period, for this to be period correct. The story that I heard was that the original engine was blown right after it was purchased, and that this is a factory replacement that they did at the dealership back in 1974. So I did not pull the numbers on the transmission or the rear end, but everything appears to be as it should, to be an original Z28. Mainly the tag, which we're going to look at in a minute, of course I'll take a picture of, and also the VIN number. So one of the nice things, so here we are, nice, clean, rust-free. This car is very, very clean, very rust-free, and it looks awesome the way it is. I have sold another car almost identical to this with the same exact stick, almost the same exact sticker, almost, obviously similar, but that was also Cortez silver, and everybody who bought it, it was red on black just like this, and everybody who wanted to buy that car from me wanted to blast it down and paint it Cortez silver again to make it original. So anyways, a couple things real quick. Oops, I closed the hood prematurely. Just wanted to show on the tag, that is the original tag. I did try to do a really good job cleaning it with some paint, with some cleaner, and so you can see that it does say Z28. It's got the paint code there, 6464, which is silver with the black stripes, black interior, 1973, as you can see. And of course, if you know your Camaros, there's no number on the paint on the tag on a 73 that would match the VIN tag. But one of the things that's nice about a 73 is that T code, which was only a 350 Z28 engine code. So you've got the VIN number with the T on it, and of course with the N means it was built in Norway, which is also on the body tag. So we have every reason to believe that this is a true Z28 car. A lot of people say Z28s didn't come with split bumpers. Of course, all you got to do is pay $110 to buy split bumpers and pop them on. Personally, I think the split bumpers look better. I've actually got a brand new solid bumper, I think, in the garage. If that's what you really want, I'd be willing to throw that in, but I'm not into the solid bumper. Even if that was factory original, personally, I'd still leave the split bumpers. Anyways, it's got some newer Boss wheels. They're a couple of years old. Tires are a little bit older, but still in good shape, make the car look really nice. 8s in the front, 9.5s in the rear. You can tell they've been driven on, and with a car like this, popping the clutch is pretty easy to do. The body on this car is very straight, and I don't remember, I've been underneath it a couple of times, and we're going to go underneath it here in just a second with the camera. Don't remember any rust. So I just want to pay attention. First of all, the body's very, very straight. There's one imperfection on the hood, and that is where somebody had an air cleaner that was probably too tall, and unfortunately slammed the, try to get really close, it's about the size of my thumb, slammed the hood down. Now this doesn't have the cowl, so if the air cleaner's too tall, the intake that they put on this is a taller intake. And personally, I'd probably put the shorter factory style intake back on the car. I'd rather have a little bit taller air cleaner, but because this is like an Edelbrock shorty air cleaner. I actually have a really nice matching valve, matching to these valve covers, I have a matching air cleaner for this car, but it would not fit on there because the hood won't close all the way. Front bumpers look nice. They look, there's a couple of tiny little spots here that I think if they were just polished, they would come out. And I'm going to try to do that even while we're, so of course, like I said, not expensive to get new ones. Front light bezels are in good shape. It's got the lower scoop on it, Z28 badging in the front, power disc brakes, power steering, and just walking around the car a little bit more slowly. There are no dings, dents, scratches, or waviness that I could say that would be worth pointing out at all, because I don't see any. I don't see any things like that. And if you watch my videos, if you're someone who follows our website, you know I try to be super, super honest about this. So I'm going to be super honest about this car and say it's freaking laser straight. This is a really nice car. The paint job looks awesome. I mean, it's not perfect, but it looks really good. This is a nice driver. And you know, when these Z28s are restored, they bring really big bucks. So to find one in the low to mid 20s is not normal. A couple of things that are wrong about it: it's missing the trim that goes around. Somebody put this weather stripping in. It doesn't look awesome. So really, it needs new the chrome trim around the front and rear windshield. And I don't know if somebody made this or what they did. It looks okay. I mean, it'll do, but it's not my favorite. Doors open and close nicely. They don't sag, F-body style. Door panels look good. It's got a new carpet kit in it, and it appears to have a new upholstery kit in it. And when I say new, it may have been done a few years ago when the restoration was done. I think they're pretty low miles on this restoration. Most of the gauges do work. The speedometer does not. It just lacks a speedometer cable. The heater fan does work when you turn it on. Oil pressure gauge does work, if you saw that earlier. And a little bit of, you know, this is an old, you know, boot. So obviously the original radio missing. And this just center console not done awesomely. I don't know. At some point when it was being restored, you know, people pull stuff out and don't put it back in as awesome as they could. This dash cap looks pretty good, but it's a little warped here. That's not unusual, and probably just needs to be tightened down. Headliner looks good. It's missing the light cap there. Back tray, rear tray looks good. I would put a stereo in this if it was me, and I'd put some speakers in the rear tray. But this carpet kit looks nice. The body by Fisher. Step plates are in good shape. Windows roll up and down nicely. Weather stripping is good around the doors. Let me get up underneath this real quick so I don't run too long on the video, because the underneath carriage of this car is super nice. I mean, it's got a nice long tube headers, nice exhaust. The rockers on this car are impeccable. And I'm saying, I don't remember, and I've had this car up on the lift a couple times, I can't remember any spots of rust on the car anywhere. These floor pans are impeccable. and our fender well. Oh, I do want to make sure, don't forget to do the trunk. We'll let the camera adjust there. Just really, really clean. We've got the tag there. It's got used limited slip lube only. This is a posi traction rear end. You can see that it's got the factory front and rear sway bars. Just nice and clean looking from the back. So personally, if I was keeping this car, if I had unlimited money to deal with it, then I might blast it down and paint the silver because that looks awesome. But if I was on a budget, which I am a guy who lives on a budget, then to be honest, I wouldn't touch this car's paint and body. It looks awesome, except maybe try to fix that one little spot in the middle. A good painter could touch that up and fix that, or maybe put a cowl hood on it. I know that might not be original, but if this was my car and I was going to keep it, again, super clean rockers, nice and straight. Doesn't appear to have ever been jacked in the wrong spot. You know, sometimes those get dented. Look at these floor pans. Impeccable. I mean, absolutely beautiful under here. So what I was saying is just, it would be, to me, it would be a waste of money, unless I had money to waste, to change the color on the paint. It looks awesome. It doesn't need a paint job. This car does not need a paint job. It doesn't need anything expensive. Nice and clean underneath. Rubbers all look nice and clean in the front end. Like I said, front and rear end sway bar, of course. Okay, another thing that is worth mentioning too is that the lights do work when you pull the switch. The headlights work, the tail lights work when you step on the brakes. The brake lights work in the back, but when you step on the brakes, the front lower lights come on too. A minor wiring issue, you know, a couple of hours in the garage with a 6-pack of beer and somebody who knows their situation with what they're doing when it comes to wiring would have that fixed pretty quick. Well, there you have it. I tried not to rush too much, but honestly, this is a really, really cool car. It's really sharp. I'm pricing this in the, you know, mid-20s just to get it sold because it needs a few little things. Honestly, if I fixed all the things that I talked about and, you know, buffed this thing out, gosh, we would be in the low 30s instead of the mid-20s. So there's lots of money to, you know, there's still meat on the bone on this car for somebody if they're looking to buy it and flip it, or do a restoration if you want to. But honestly, I think the value in this car is that it's affordable now, ready to drive right this minute, doesn't need anything except maybe a radio, because I like my tunes.